Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Excavation Point Zoo. I'm here with Mrs. T-Rex.
Hello everyone.
Hey, how you going?
Yeah, pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. We are in here building a lion habitat today, as you guys will know because you clicked on the thumbnail. I decided that we probably needed a bigger ticket animal in sort of the back part of the zoo to kind of drive guests in. So we had the rhinos and then we have the big cats, so that'll really get guests down there. We do have quite a lot of footage that isn't recorded, unfortunately, because I think it was around this time you and I were talking, weren't we, Mrs. T-Rex, about like we're coming to the sort of end of the zoo, in the sense that we weren't going to have enough time to put out enough episodes prior to the release of the beta of Prehistoric Kingdom. So we were like, there's only this many episodes left, and that's when I started to panic, and I was like, no, I want to do heaps more in this zoo. I'm feeling like so inspired. So I built heaps off camera. So really, I'm a bit disappointed because I really struggled with the lion habitat and I didn't love building it. Like you probably know, Gemma, that it's really tough when you are building a habitat and you're just not feeling it. And so I really had to force myself to build this particular habitat. And then I built a tapir and a proboscis monkey habitat, and it ended up being like my favourite part of the build, along with the staff area. But anyway, we'll show you that in the real time part, guys, so never fear. You're just getting to see me building a pretty simple viewing area, and then the lion habitat with like the hills in the background. Have you had like an experience where you've like really not been feeling a habitat and you've just had to push through, Gemma?
All the time, honestly. That's like the bane of my life. I mean, I think being creative, that's probably the one thing that you'll always hear from content creators. I've heard like from bigger channels as well that it depends your perspective on creating content. Some people have to create content because it's their income, and then other people do it because they just enjoy creating things. But I have heard like bigger creators who just need to put out a video and they don't necessarily enjoy what they're making or enjoy what they're building, but because they need to put out that video, they'll just like throw anything down, and then they're like, okay, that's it done, that's like this week's video is essentially created. And it's kind of like a horrible way of like working, but I have felt that in the past, where sometimes, if you don't enjoy what you're creating, if you kind of persevere, and sometimes it ends up turning out better than what you expected. And then sometimes, I mean, I've done so many builds that I've just binned. And if anyone knows from my channel, I'm a serial like zoo killer. I have so many like series on my channel that just don't get done because I lose inspiration or just don't really feel the love for it. So yeah, it's definitely different from being a perspective of creating content and being someone who also just enjoys playing the game. So it's totally different.
Yeah, it's so true, isn't it? Like, I feel exactly the same sometimes when I'm creating videos. I really try and do it because I enjoy it. So because I mean I'm never going to make enough money on YouTube for it to be my living. I think that's just a fact. But I want to make sure that I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So I mean, I don't want to bang on about it too much, but I really struggled with this lion habitat, and I don't know why. It might be because it's quite big, and really I'm just not a fan of huge, like big habitats. Like, it is quite a large habitat, and I really struggled with some of this, I guess, like the rock work and like the mountain itself, because I wanted to try and be as realistic as possible with the build, and it's difficult to be realistic when you've got big rocks and things in the background, because in real life, I mean, the game lions can't jump out of the habitat, but in real life the real lions probably could. So you want it to look quite realistic. So you can see at the moment I'm going in here with like the interior where the keepers would come in, but they would be actually closed off from the lions if the lions were in this particular part of the inside, and I had to move that lion out because it got stuck. But yeah, I really struggled. I am happy with the way it turned out, but it was a bit of a labour, this one, and I ended up using the in-game fences, which I don't love, but they worked in this case. So
yeah, obviously you can go for like the no barrier, then put in whatever you want, but sometimes honestly, sometimes it feels like it's overkill when you're doing custom fences, but it depends, like, what kind of mood you're in, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I did toy with the idea of like just taking your rhino fences and putting them in the lion habitat, and then I was like, no, that's a bit mean. Just use the in-game ones. I know you wouldn't have minded, but you know.
Nah, I wouldn't have mind.
Yeah.
I get like so many. I don't know if they're necessarily compliments on my channel, where it's like a lot of people say that I build really basic, and it's like, thank you. I think I don't know.
What does that
Sometimes it feels.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like you build basic, but I guess it could be like a compliment, really, couldn't it? If you really want to drop a comment below this would be great, because that will increase the viewers happening on my channel, which at the moment, unfortunately, it's not doing the best because obviously the hype from Prehistoric Kingdom's dying down, so which is fine. It will jump back up as the game and the beta is released. But anyway, as you can see at the moment, I am trying out quite a bunch of things in this pool that I built. Like this, I thought it would be quite fun to have like, I don't know, what are these called? The sprinklers?
Yeah.
Or like a fountain.
Yeah,
like a fountain or something, but I just hated them. I thought they looked so fake. And when I tried to make them look more real, as you can see at the moment with like the water at the bottom, I couldn't get it right. And so I was like, well, that's not going to work. So I deleted them all in the end, and I just put a lion statue in the middle of it, which I actually think looks good in the end. And I've put like a garden bed around it, obviously, and things like that. These actually, these fences are off the workshop as well. So actually, I think I know who created those. I think they're all Simply Savannah's. So shout out to Simply Savannah for her fences. I've used them quite a lot throughout the park. But yeah, this is quite repetitive, but we're just popping it in so that we can then put some garden beds in. And then, so let's talk, do you know what we can talk about? Let's talk about Christmas. So what are you doing for Christmas this year?
Wow. I actually don't know. I mean, last year we spent Christmas just the three of us on our own. So I think this year we'll probably go around to my mum's house. So it'll be me, my mum, my dad, and my husband and our little son. And yeah, my mum is so prepared. Because like in Britain right now, there's kind of I don't know if it's in Australia as well, but people are kind of like freaking out, thinking that they're not going to have turkeys for Christmas. So my mum like basically messaged me and was like, "Do not fear, we have the turkey." And I'm like, "Okay, Mum." Bless her.
Oh, no, that's not a thing in Australia. I think we'll be fine with our turkeys over here. That's weird. Are they having a turkey shortage in Scotland?
Yeah, imagine that. Just like come to Christmas and not having your turkey. I would be fine, to be honest. I mean, there's plenty of other meat available, but yeah, I just thought it was hilarious when she texted me and she was like, "Do not fear, we have the turkey on order."
Oh,
I was like, "All right, Mum, enjoy."
Yeah, it's like a bit of a tradition, isn't it, really, like turkey for Christmas. In Australia, we have like seafood and things like that more as a tradition over here, because obviously it's usually on Christmas Day, it's like in the high 30 degrees Celsius. Sometimes, it's been up in the 40s. So, having a hot lunch on a super hot day, and you don't really want to have the oven on and things like that. So, however, having said that, we usually do have a turkey, so I don't know what I'm on about. Like my mum usually goes like full tradition. So this year I'm going down to Tassie. So I live in Victoria, which is on the mainland of Australia, but I'm from like a small island underneath it called Tasmania, and I'm going to fly down there. I haven't been down all year because of COVID. So I'm booked to go, and I'll be double jabbed by then, so I'll be able to actually go. And yeah, I'm going to hang out with her and see her for the first time this year, which is going to be really nice. Usually I see her 3 or 4 times a year, so it's been a long haul not seeing her. But yeah, it should be nice. We have a traditional Christmas down there with her and her partner and his daughter, and yeah, we'll just hang out. And she lives on a farm, so she's going to have baby goats and chickens and quails and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it should be fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good to get away from like the big city and go down to the farm. I really enjoy it, and like just relaxing. It's really nice to just be able to relax. Oh
yeah, I find it like so bizarre that you guys have, basically your summer, because winter's always like snow and miserable, and you guys are like chilling out on beaches and stuff.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
It's starting to get hot here now. Like when I say hot, like I kind of like it when it's around like the mid-20s mark. That's perfect for me. So around this time of year, probably into like halfway through November, sort of towards the late November, it's still quite nice, like it's quite nice weather, but then it starts to get hot, and that's when I'm like, ugh, I don't cope very well in the heat. Anything above 30 and I'm like, no, I'd rather be inside in the air conditioned. And like there's at least maybe 2 months in Melbourne where we get just consistent days above 30 degrees. I think a couple of years ago we had like 2 or 3 days in a row sort of above 45 degrees Celsius, and that was like during the Australian Open, and they had to like stop the tennis because the players were like all fainting on the court and things like that. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yes, but I mean, that's where I live. In the summer, it does get hot. As you can see at the moment, guys, what I'm doing is just putting on some accents on this building because it is quite boring, and it's quite long and rectangular. So I popped some accents on just to make it look a little bit more realistic, and then I go in with a roof. But what we might do is we'll jump out of the speed build now, and we'll leave you to relax with a little bit of music, and then we will see you back in the real-time part at the end, because there is quite a lot to get through in the real-time part, simply because you don't see even probably half of what I have built for this episode. So we'll jump into the real-time part and we will see you there, guys. Well, hello everyone, welcome back from the speed build. Here we are just outside the West African lion habitat, and we are walking past the water feature on the left and the garden on the right, for those of you that can't see it, which is probably everyone can see it. And we're heading towards the West African lion viewing area, and I've got some interesting facts about West African lions, which now Gemma already knows, because unfortunately we had to re-record this real-time part because I stupidly didn't press record for the first time that we did it. So we spent 10 minutes talking to each other, and then I went to stop recording and we realised that I hadn't recorded it. So I'm going to tell you the facts again, Gemma. Sorry about that.
No, I love them. I'd love to hear about it. So on you go.
All right. So with the West African lion, here we are just in their habitat. This one's having something to eat. We'll just watch them doing a few interesting things up the hill here while I tell you some interesting facts. So lions, for those of you that didn't know, are the only big cats that live in groups. So the tigers don't, and leopards don't. Any other cats are more solitary animals unless they're coming together to breed. But lions themselves obviously live in prides or big groups. These particular lions that are in Planet Zoo are a really interesting subspecies of lion. So in the world, I think there's about 20,000 lions in general left in the wild. However, this particular subspecies, the West African lion, there's only about 250 to 300 individuals left. So they're really, really endangered, like quite critically endangered, which is really sad. Like they're obviously losing their habitats due to being poached, and a lot of their prey is losing their habitats too, so their prey is becoming more scarce. They're venturing into farmlands, things like that, and farmers are shooting them because they're coming to kill their cattle and their sheep, which is obviously their livelihood. So it's a real shame, but they are working to hopefully bring their numbers back up in the wild. All right, let's head around this way. We're going to head behind the rhino habitat here, behind your rhinos, Gemma, and we'll see if they're inside their little shed again. Let's have a look.
Yep. Now, what Swoop has forgot to tell you about the movie that you've just told me about, and I've already forgotten what it was called, but it was an endearing story, so please tell it again.
Oh yeah, righto. Okay, well let's talk about. Oh, I did get stuck on there. The reason I put the lions in was because I was watching like an old childhood movie that I used to love as a kid. We're just heading up here behind like the back area of the lion habitat, so I'll tell you the movie when we're inside here. And it was called Born Free, and so it's about a couple, George and Joy Adamson, who George accidentally kills the mother because it was going to basically kill him, so he had no choice. And then they find there's 3 cubs in the cave nearby, so they end up raising them. 2 of them they give away to a zoo, and then the smallest one, called Elsa, they raise her until she's an adult, and then they end up releasing her back into the wild and being able to, she ends up having, like joining a pride of her own and having a litter of cubs herself. So it's quite a nice story, like quite a sort of feel-good story. And the movie itself, it's so old now, like it's as old as the hills, but I still love it. I love it to this day.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to check it out because I've never seen it before.
Yeah, you definitely should. It's such a nice old movie. I think it was filmed in actually, I don't know when it was filmed. I'm not even going to hazard a guess. No, I'm not going to hazard a guess. All right, so let's just head around here to the right. And as I was saying in the speed build, guys, I built a whole heap of stuff off camera because the lion habitat I wasn't really feeling, and then I started building like a bit of a rainforesty habitat and I was really loving it. So I put in a habitat for the Malayan tapir and the proboscis monkey, which is just around here behind this planter. So we'll head in and we'll have a little look. You can see here we've got the rainforest danger sign, and then the education boards are up here sort of on little stands. We'll just head in and have a little look at the animals. You rarely see the monkeys climbing on this frame. It's such a shame. Just as I say that, there goes one. Let's see if we can catch it. There it goes. Oh, I'm really pleased we've seen it because usually they rarely climb on these frames. I mean, they do kind of, unfortunately, jump through the wood a little bit because of the way that the wood is put. But it still looks pretty cool when they're up there. They really do spend the majority of their time in this waterhole around the corner here, and they just swim and swim and swim, which I don't really know if they would do that in real life, if they would just constantly just choose to swim in the water. I feel like they would probably more likely choose to be right up here. But, you know, oh, there goes another one. There we go.
Yeah, it's a shame that they don't use the climbing structures that much. They're either, like you said, swimming or just kind of lazing about. When I got the zoo back and I had a little tour around and the feeding platform, they were all just like sitting in a circle, like eating the berries or whatever that they get fed. It's pretty cute.
Yeah, that's cute. I love that kind of, that animation that they have. All right, so we've seen this habitat now, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to head around to the staff area that I put in, and we'll have a little look at some of the details that I popped in, and then that will be that. So we'll head this way down the staff area. There's a little gate here, and then you've got sort of this is like the back of the habitat. So it doesn't really matter that this looks like a little bit how's your mother, because that's kind of how it would be in zoos. Like it wouldn't be perfect in the backstage. And then you have like the building supplies that they're kind of like just chucked here in case they need to grab them. And then as we head around, there's like a staff eating area just here to the right. And then up here, there's like a staff information board. So I've got some signs around like, we expect guests to use the bin, staff should too. And then you've also got the staff information board further down here, which is like the staff pool party and like some other little things that they might need to read or want to read. And then, look, I'm not sure if it's particularly realistic, but I really wanted to put in like something fun for the staff. So I put in a little staff swimming hole. So you've got like obviously the realism of the recycled water. I assume it would kind of go through here and come back out through the waterfall and just kind of keep going. And then as you come along, if you wanted to have a little swim, you can swim in here and then have a little relax. I think it'd be kind of cool to work here and do that and have like a staff pool party. I know that you probably wouldn't have a pool for zoo staff, but I think they would have like places for staff to relax, right?
Yeah, and I think it looks great, especially like recycle your towels, very eco-friendly.
Yeah, put your towels in the basket and they will be laundered for you. Probably also not realistic. Like usually like staff would probably be expected to bring their own towels and then take them home and wash them themselves. But they're kind of nice at this zoo. They're happy to do that. And then we've got like a few signs here telling staff that swimming is permitted, but do not swim after heavy rain and only swim during your breaks, people. We are not paying you to have a swimming fiesta when you are supposed to be feeding the animals, looking after the animals. So that's that, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for joining me, Mrs. T-Rex. It was lovely to have you over here on my channel.
Yeah, thanks very much. Really enjoyed it. The zoo's looking awesome, so yeah, happy to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, it's looking amazing. There's a lot of episodes to come, guys, so stay tuned in. Hop over to Mrs. T-Rex for the next episode, and we will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.